Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we are going to be helping out this family that is in need of a lawn mow. Obviously their yard hasn't been mowed in, I'd say, about maybe a little bit less than a month. We are both going to be swimming in some super wet grass today, and this grass is super weedy, again super wet, drenched. I mean, I step and my whole foot is soaking wet, so it's going to be a fun one. The side yards need to be cleaned up. We got weeds growing everywhere. That all needs to be trimmed. Oh, what's going on here? I didn't even notice this. Looks like they have a water leak of some sort right next to the air conditioner. I honestly, this is my first time actually noticing this. That is a major problem. Looks like they got a bigger problem going on than the tall grass. A fire hazard. I'm gonna have to notify them. All right, so we notified the renter, and I kind of guessed that it was a rental, but still squirting out water. Anyways, let's continue on. We got the big open canvas backyard. Again, trimming around the side of the house. And it's nothing too crazy, however, it is overgrown, and the grass here, if you don't know, in the Pacific Northwest, we got the most thickest grass ever. I mean, this stuff is thick. This is not your average thin grass. So it takes a long time to mulch up and cut up and haul away. And that's what we're gonna be doing to the grass today. We're gonna cut it up, mulch it, bag everything, and haul it all away. I mean, like, listen to this. Literally swimming in water. Oh, they got another leak. You gotta be kidding me. This whole house is leaking. Well, why is this on? Oh. Okay, we can turn this off for now. They have a sprinkler system, yet for some reason they have this. Are we missing something? They have a sprinkler system, yet they have that set up. I'm wondering, since there's that leak, they had to turn the water off. Maybe that was the irrigation water that they had to turn off, so the sprinklers didn't work that are in ground. So they had to run a manual hose from a spigot that's from the water from the house instead of irrigation water valve. I don't know. Am I connecting the dots right or no? Y'all let me know. Anyways, on a final note, the edges definitely need some restoring. They don't look too bad. I can see the edge of the concrete, so these edges aren't honestly in real bad shape, but we will put a nice hard edge to them. So I hope you guys stay tuned to the end for the amazing before and after pictures. Woo! Anyways, let's begin working. Looks like she did turn the water off, so I'm more than certain she is informing the landlord about the problem. looks pretty good, right? Looks nice and uniform, excluding the tire marks, of course, because the grass is wet. And this is a 3-inch cut. However, I want to drop it down even more. We're going to probably go 2.5 inches across this entire yard. 3-inch cut initially because it's overgrown, and then drop it down 2.5-inch cut for a nice final finish. And we are pretty full, so we're gonna have to go and dump this and start fresh.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to side discharge, guys. Wet grass, don't mulch up too well.
just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are all done here. We probably quadruple cut the backyard with the final bagging at 2.5, striped it up, looks really nice. Trimmed around all of the garden beds that surround the house, and then of course notified the renters to notify the landlord about the leak. I think that's what's most important here, because first of all, I believe the renter is responsible for the water, so if they didn't even know about it, they're paying a hefty water bill, because that wasn't a minor leak. That could quickly add up to a hefty bill every single month, so I'm glad we were able to help them out with that. The bees are still out. It is slowly beginning to be the end of the season, but the honeybees are still out, munching on these honeysuckles, maybe? I don't know. They don't look like... No, they're not honeysuckles. Got some nice tomatoes growing here though. I don't know if they know about these, but ooh. Hey, there's a good one. Oh, it just came off. Wow. I love cherry tomatoes. Front yard nice and established. The edges were not even overgrown at all. I just took my string trimmer to them and cleaned them up. There's so much activities in the skies, one plane after another. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Again, it is kind of nearing the end of the season, but we got plenty of lawn makeover videos that haven't been released yet, pretty much all the way through next spring. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know it wasn't much, but hey, at least we got about half a truckload of wet grass, and the John Deere did an amazing job. If you want more info about it, I'll have a link to my behind the scenes channel. Again, I can't thank you guys enough. Can't do it without you guys. You guys are my #1 support system, honestly, and without you guys, I wouldn't be able to provide free makeovers for families in need like the one we did today. So all of your interactions, your likes, your shares, hitting that subscribe button really truly make a difference and help the channel grow. So again, big thank you. Take care. God bless you. We'll see you in the next one, and enjoy these before and after pictures.